up on
Pat
this.
trying to act like he can hold a note.
I know, right?
This is February the 22nd, 2018. Y'all stand up and give a warm welcome for the sheriff in the building, y'all. Let's go.
Hey, Macon County.
2018. That's right. 2018.
You finna say 2017.
I always get ready to say
Yeah,
it,
you
man.
finna say it. I told you 2018. Gotta correct DJ Booty Rush.
I didn't say it though. I was
finna
fit to.
You were thinking it. You were thinking it, though. You were thinking it.
I was fit
You
to.
finna say it.
I was finna say it.
But you know-
Every day I be getting ready to say it. I'm so
But I
used to saying
saved you
something.
again.
You save me again.
Saved
I
you
appreciate it.
again.
I appreciate it. I
That's right.
appreciate it.
That's right.
Y'all always save me. Y'all always
That's
save me.
right. Hey, Macon County, 100.7 FM WUBZ with DJ Booty Rush at Hear Me TV, Tuskegee Virtual TV, Channel 181 in town, Channel 19 on campus with Pat Wallace, director, Kimberly Wright, Butch Baxter, and the birthday girl, Jordan.
And that bit.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy
happy
birthday,
birthday.
girl, sitting over there smiling.
With money on her.
How old are you, Jordan? 21.
21.
Oh, they say she's legal then.
There you go.
Ain't that what they always say?
She legal.
At 21, it's legal.
That's right.
Let me put a little. I'm just gonna put a little couple seconds of the birthday song for the
Okay,
birthday girl.
okay.
If that's all
Yeah,
right.
that'll
with you,
be
Share.
nice. That'll be
That'll be all right
nice.
with you, Share.
That's all right with me, brother. He's just a great person, man.
It's a great person, man.
Yeah, great. Jordan, a great person. Jordan is a great person. And it's just good. It's a birthday.
Yeah.
We got cake. We got pizza.
Oh,
we
can't
tell me
got
we got all that good
sandwiches.
food up in there.
we
We
got
got
food.
chicken. We got chips. We got all kinds of stuff for Jordan.
We ain't got that up here because they'll come up here and get all our food.
I know,
man.
right?
Hey, we left it over there with them.
That's right. We got the door closed, so we can't see.
Butch
We
is
can't still go get the
look,
food.
Butch is standing guard too.
that's right.
Oh, we in trouble now.
Oh, you in trouble. Your Bush standing guard. We in trouble.
That Bobcat Butch. He
I
gonna
know,
let
right?
He gonna let nobody get none of that food, though.
Oh, he better save some for the sheriff.
I know that, right?
Better say something for the sheriff. You know I can eat too.
Me too.
Oh man,
Listen,
I can eat.
but all of us
All us could eat.
Well, it look like all of us can eat. Don't they?
Hey, to be honest now, to be honest, it's about 1,000 pounds at this table right here.
You ain't kidding.
Yes,
All
it
jokes
is.
aside,
Yeah, all
About
jokes
right.
aside.
You about right.
we got a little cake and some wings in there. You got 1,000 pounds at this table. Ooh,
Ooh.
y'all
Oh,
better
yeah.
get y'all first.
Because we're going to clean it up.
We'll clean it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Well, we doing good tonight, y'all.
We're doing
Everybody
good.
doing good.
Everybody
tonight?
doing good.
Hey, and I'm glad Miss Ligon is doing good, doing a lot better. Eula, we appreciate that. And, you know, everybody say a prayer for Miss Ligon. Great people over there, man.
Right.
You know, great people. And right now, it's been a lot of people sick, man.
Yeah, it has.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
that flu going around, you know, all kind of things going around. We just got to take care of ourselves.
Right.
And when you talk about the flu and other things, one of the good things, just keep your hands washed.
Right.
Right.
And, you know, watch putting your hands in your mouth and, you know, you touching doors, shaking people's hands, and you put them in your mouth, you're eating without washing them, and that's bad. You
Yeah.
know, you're getting that
Yep.
bacteria and those germs, and, you know, you catch the flu. And
Yep.
other things, too.
Right.
Right.
Boy, this flu has been tough. I kept it for 3 weeks.
Man.
And I kept it for 3 weeks.
I had it for a week.
Man, I had it for 3
weeks.
weeks.
I was able to dodge the bullet this year. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, it ain't over yet, though.
Yeah.
It ain't over yet,
Yeah.
Pat
Right.
Wallace.
Hey, but I'm following the protocols. I'm keeping my hands to myself.
That's what you better do. and while you sit next to me, keep your hands to yourself. But we got Pat up here for a special reason.
Yeah, we got
right?
a real interesting
Yeah,
program
we
for
got
to get
an
it started, you guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. But let me go on with the sheriff report, and we'll get this out, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, but sheriff report February 16th through February 22nd, between the dates of February 9th. I don't know why I said that. February the 9th to February the 15th, he made the typographical area 16th through the 22nd. The Macon County Sheriff Department in the last 7 days has received 120 volunteer fire transmissions, 1,240 landline calls, 307 E911 calls, and 1,339 radio transmissions for a total of 3,006 contacts. And that's a little more than we've had. We've been staying in the 2000s.
It's been warm.
It's
been warm.
It's been warm.
Yeah.
Now we got 3006. On 216 County Road 2, we had a property damage. On 216 County Road 19, domestic violence 3rd. 216 County Road 10, information only report. 217 Boyd Road, criminal mischief and burglary. 217 Spratling Hollow Road, harassment. 218 County Road 24, burglary. 219 Hope Road, harassment. 220 Jana Brook Avenue, theft of property. 220 Tysonville Road, a burglary. 220 County Road 37, impound vehicle. 220 arrest, probation violation. 221 County Road 4, information only report. 221 arrest on animal cruelty. 222 Jericho Street on sexual abuse. So that's what the sheriff report is, y'all. I just saw this domestic violence, which I truly hate.
Right.
You know, we got to do better with domestic violence, and we got to keep on what we're doing with the non-violent crimes. We hadn't had any violent crimes, and I'm proud of that. But we don't need any crimes.
That's right.
You know, stay out of people's house.
Yeah.
You know, stop stealing, man.
Yeah.
Work for what you get, man.
Yeah.
Take care of your neighbors. Take care of your people. Take care of your town and your community.
Right.
There it is.
But I think we're doing better. This week we only had 14 complaints.
Okay.
And that's a lot better than we've had recently. You know, and a couple of these are information-only reports, but we still have the burglary, which I definitely hate. Still have the domestic violence, which I definitely hate. But I really hate all the crime.
I hate that animal cruelty. That
that's
sucks.
another one.
That
animal
really
cruelty.
sucks.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, do what you're supposed to do, people. You know, think before you do these things.
Right, right.
Let's have a week that we don't have any reports or any complaints.
That's
you think that'll ever happen?
That'll call for a party then.
Yeah, that
man.
would call for a
parade
party.
and everything.
Yes. But we're doing pretty good as a
That's
community.
good though. That's good though.
You know, you don't see a whole lot of crimes here. But like I said, domestic violence, and I know I got to tell Ms. Crenshaw about this one. I know she's listening.
Right.
You know, we need to get some, maybe we can help these people.
Okay.
You know, maybe we can help in some kind of way. You know, I'm going to have to look more into that. I don't know whether it was just an argument or whatever, but we're going to look into that more in depth.
Okay.
And maybe we can help somebody if they need some help. And if you are listening and you have been a victim, you know, give us a call.
That's right.
And we definitely got some people that's willing to help you.
Right.
And, you know, I talk to Ms. Crenshaw all the time on Facebook. You know, she send the booklets, the pamphlets. She ready to go.
Oh, yeah, she ready.
She ready.
She ready.
Yeah.
She
She
stay
ready to go.
ready.
She stay ready.
Stay ready.
She stay on go. She ready.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a team ready to
Yes.
help people.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
definitely good to have a team ready to help people.
That's right.
You know, and a team that's knowledgeable about what's going on and who cares about what's going on.
Exactly.
And
Ms.
she's been there.
And she's been there.
Yeah.
been there.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she do.
And she's just ready, man. And it's just good to have somebody like
Right.
that. But I'm sure there are other people out there ready and willing to help.
That's right.
And we need to reach out to those people too and have a great team of people just willing and ready to help.
That's right.
Because some people need our help.
That's right. You're right.
And some people need our help. So we're going to look more into that.
Okay.
Into this domestic violence. And we're going to keep up with that.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have that down to zero.
Okay. I know
Down
that's
to
right.
zero.
That'd be really good
Yeah,
too.
that would be good.
Oh, yeah.
And all it takes is us working together, just like we're talking about cutting down on all of these crimes. We can cut down on these crimes,
That's right.
and we can cut down on domestic violence and all of that stuff,
Right.
and we can provide help.
Right.
Okay. So, I know the subject we're talking about tonight. So you wanna start talking about that DJ Booty Rush?
Oh my God, we got an interesting show tonight. I'm telling you guys, we got we got a really great show tonight, and it's about the guns in the schools, man.
Right.
And basically, man, I want to give I want to get y'all professional input on having the guns and stuff in the schools.
In the schools, yeah.
And what is it, a good idea or is it a bad idea or just, you know?
Well, you know, to me, it's a bad idea. You know, it's hard enough as a police officer who's been trained all these years. You know what I'm saying? To carry a gun and be able to use a gun proficiently.
Right.
It's one thing to have a gun. It's another thing to be able to shoot the gun.
Right.
And it's another thing to be able to hit what you aiming at. You know what I'm saying? So if you give somebody a gun, and I'm talking about they might be trained. Even if they got a gun right now, they are trained. It still takes a lot.
It takes
and a lot
while.
of time
It does.
to be efficient with that gun.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
do you want to take a chance on somebody that's been trained only a year, maybe 2 years, to pull a gun out and shoot it around your children?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of nerves to shoot somebody.
Under extreme pressure
It
too.
takes a lot of
You're
nerves,
under a lot of pressure.
and you're under a
Yeah.
lot of pressure. So how are you going to do that
Right.
efficiently?
Right.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, you can give anybody a gun,
Right.
Right.
but how are you going to react when you get that gun?
Right.
You got trained officers who have been trained for years
That's right.
and are very proficient with
Right.
that gun and still not able to pull that gun and pull the trigger.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to do that.
Right.
It takes a lot of training.
That's right.
And especially when you're nervous, you know, and
Yeah.
somebody's firing back at you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It-
Right.
You know, it's hard for a lot of guys in the military when they're getting shot at.
That's right.
You
Whole
know,
different ball game.
So I mean,
Whole different
it's
game.
a whole different ball game. When you're,
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing to go to the range and practice and shoot the target and get the bullseye, but when you got somebody
That's
else
right.
shooting back,
it's a big
it's hard. It's a big difference. And plus, in an environment like that where you have children, you
Running
don't know.
and
Yeah, they're
everything,
running
running
or
and
whatever.
hollering.
How can you really properly engage
Right.
somebody like that? And you got a bunch of children around.
Right.
Well, you know the thought of it and the willingness to help our kids and save our kids, you say and you want to believe that it's a great idea. You know, we want to believe that. We want to believe that we can give all the teachers guns and it's going to be a miracle. If somebody coming to school, these teachers going to fire for them and get them out of there.
Yeah.
But it just ain't going to happen like that.
right.
And then we talking about giving them a pistol.
Wow.
You walk in there with a AR-15, that pistol ain't no
You
match.
ain't-
There's no
Yeah.
match.
You're
Yeah.
going to draw attention to yourself and your classroom if you start shooting.
That's
Yep.
right.
You make
And
yourself a
You're
target.
going to make yourself a
That's
target.
right.
That's right.
And you going to just be shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were just talking about that at the school in Florida.
Mhm.
There was an armed officer there,
Yeah.
and he didn't go in
And
to
he
engage.
didn't go in and engage. So why don't you think he went in and engaged? Did he freeze? Did he know that he was outgunned?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, we talk about officers, brave officers who are willing to give their life.
Right.
You know, officers usually run to the fire.
Right.
And they gladly give their lives for other people. But sometimes, man, these guys will freeze because
right.
they're human.
They're human.
And
They
you hear
human.
that automatic, you
You
hear
hear
that
the
semi-automatic
automatic, yeah.
fire,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you got 16 rounds, and he got 30.
Yeah.
You got 30 rounds and extra clips, too.
That's right.
A fight you know you
Yeah.
can't win.
That's
you don't
right.
want to engage in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
A fight you know you can't win.
Yeah.
And he's in the building with the children.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How can you engage a target when he's surrounded by children?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
it makes it tough.
It make it
and,
tough.
and you got to be able to make great decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want everybody running around with a gun because they're not going to make great. Everybody's not going to make great decisions.
That's right.
Right.
You know, we want to think that if we did that, it's going to help, and it might help.
It might
and
help.
it might deter the situation. It just might help, but also it might do more harm than good.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we really have to think about that. And I'm not saying just plain no because I'm with everybody who want to save our kids.
Right.
But you got to think about what we're doing. Now we're giving more people more guns in the school. Now, what if that teacher, let's just say it's not a shooting, but that teacher got a gun every day? What if that teacher get mad at your child?
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What
Right.
if, I mean, it's a lot of what ifs.
Right. Especially in these high schools.
Yeah.
Right.
You
It's a
know?
lot of what if one of the kids get hold to your teacher's gun?
Right.
What if one of those students say, hey, we're going to take your gun today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of what
It's a lot
ifs.
of-
Right.
Because
Right.
they got to do a lot more than the police officer does.
Right.
You know, because you're a teacher. You got to also not only just engage in shooting everything. You got just to protect that gun.
Right.
Just to
You gotta protect
You
that
got to
gun.
protect that
But you know,
gun.
the
Just like an
scenario.
officer has to protect,
Protect
his
his
gun
gun.
when he's on the
Yeah,
street.
exactly.
Right.
You gotta protect that gun.
Because a lot of times the teachers might just leave it in the desk, have it in the book bag,
Right.
put it in, kids watch all that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
what they're talking about doing, though, and this is what I heard today, they were saying that their proposal is to put armed staff in there, not necessarily teachers, but what they're saying is kind of like how they do the air marshals. You never know who it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not talking about putting the teacher in the classroom, but some people on staff that have weapons that don't nobody know who they are. When you get on the airplane, you don't know who the air marshals are.
Right.
You don't see their weapons.
That's right.
Right? So that's what they're talking about doing like that, because putting the guns in the hands of the teachers, that would
Yeah.
be madness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
That
about
would be madness because, the students misbehave. They do mischievous stuff. I mean, some of these inner city schools are pretty bad. And these teachers, that was the other issue is they were talking about people with mental illness.
Well,
And
that's
people's-
what I was finna say.
Yeah, and see, look, people's medical records are sealed.
Right.
HIPAA,
Exactly.
HIPAA protects it. You can't just go and find out what somebody's on.
That's right.
And the guy that's on the antidepressant, he's on there for some nonviolent reason. Well, if he goes for a background check, and they say, how are they gonna police that? Because
Yeah,
the
how you
background
gonna
check
tell?
does not cover your medical records.
Right. That's right.
It's not allowed.
You see what I'm
Not
saying?
allowed.
And I'm gonna tell you that I love my teachers, love the school system and everything. But some of these teachers and the people that are employed by the school also have to take medication.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, that's just something that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of them have to take medication to stay balanced,
They self.
and they can operate fine when they're on their medication.
That's right.
But what if
But
they
what
off?
if they don't take their medication?
Yeah.
What if they start having bad days
Right.
and not taking their medication and we gave these people a gun?
That's right.
Yeah.
That is possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You're right.
That
You're
is
right.
possible.
You're right.
So how do you police the teachers who are on medication?
That's right.
Exactly.
There you go.
How do you find out if they're not taking? It's too late if when
Right.
something happens to know,
Right.
oh man, she didn't take her medication or
it's-
she's been off her medication.
Right,
So
right.
you're definitely taking a chance
Right.
when you
Right.
give a gun to people.
Yeah.
And it takes, I went to the academy. I've been an officer for 25 years. I went to the police academy. I spent 12 weeks at the police academy. I mean, I shoot all the time. We train all the time.
Right.
We train for different scenarios all the time.
Okay.
And you have to stay up with all of this.
Right.
And we still might miss.
Right.
We still might take the wrong shot.
That's right.
Right.
And we still get nervous.
That's right.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So we have to think about that. But you take these guys who train all the time, all they do is train for the SWAT team. All they do is train for these
Right,
scenarios.
right.
And they try to get there as soon as possible.
Right.
And we have a good plan, and I think soon we're going to do one of these school shooting scenarios real soon, like I talked about last
The
week.
active
yeah.
shooter thing.
The active shooter.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Like I
Okay.
talked about last week.
Okay.
But like I said last time, the officers now are trained in a different way. Yeah, it might take 5 to 8 minutes for the officers to get to the school. But what if you got an officer driving by the school?
Right.
Hopefully that's the way it happens. You got
Right.
an officer close by. He can hurry up and get to the school.
Right.
And now we no longer have to wait on the SWAT team. Or we no longer have to wait on permission. When you
Right.
get there, you go in and you try to eliminate the threat.
Right.
And in the case in Florida, that officer, I don't know for what reason, he didn't go in and
Right.
engage.
Right.
But he was in the right place.
Yeah.
But if he had gone in and engaged, he might have saved some of those kids. I don't know what the whole thing with him, so I can't really speak on that.
Right. Right.
But if my officers was there or I was there, I know we would go in and engage.
Right.
And maybe we could have saved some of those kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're taught to do.
Right. Right.
And we're doing that while the SWAT team and everybody else is on their way.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I know when the cavalry get there, we can take care of business. But my job is to try to eliminate the threat.
Yeah.
And even if I'm firing my weapon off at him, that's time that he don't have to shoot back at those children.
That's
Right.
right.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna take his attention off of them,
Right.
and I'm gonna try to get his attention on
You.
me.
Right.
Suppressive fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Press the fire.
Yes.
And I ain't gonna tell you how many bullets I got.
I know that's
I
right.
got a whole bunch
A
of
whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And and one thing I do when we try to arm all our men with long rifles, besides their handguns,
Right.
and they're taught to shoot to the end.
Right.
So I know I got my handgun, I got a couple rifles, and I got plenty of ammo.
Right.
And you have to be prepared for that just in case it happens.
Just in case.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to be prepared.
And you got to be willing to do the job.
That's right.
You got to be willing to do the job.
Right.
So I feel better running into school knowing I'm trained and I'm worried about only
The threat.
the threat.
Right.
But boy, what if I got to worry about all those teachers shooting guns too?
Yeah.
Right.
Missing.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
That's a
Miss-
problem.
and
I'm
missing.
gonna be ducking they, right. I'm gonna be ducking
Right.
their bullets. And
Right.
I'm not gonna know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
That is a problem.
That is a problem.
And see, the other part of it is if you have multiple teachers throughout the school and there's no way to coordinate what's happening,
Right. Right.
and then a teacher goes into another classroom and there's another teacher with a gun.
Crossfire, all kinds
You
of
know,
stuff.
you never know who the shooter is
Right,
now.
you never
You
know.
can't tell where that person is.
Yeah.
That's why it needs to be left to law enforcement
Yeah,
to come in there,
yeah,
really.
right,
I mean,
right. Because
You know.
a lot of people are scared of guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't make them carry a gun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Well, they're talking about finding people that would either have previous law enforcement experience or something like that. They're like I said, they're talking about concealing these things so that the students, nobody knows. The teachers don't even know who have
got
them.
'em. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, something's got to be done
Yeah,
because
I agree. Something has to be done, but I don't know if that's the answer.
Yeah.
I don't know either.
You know, in some situations it might be good.
It might be good.
It might be good, but just think about the liability and just think
Right.
about all the
Right.
problems that it could
Right.
cause.
That's
right.
And I think it'll cause more problems than do more harm than good. That's just my opinion right now.
Right.
Until they can show me something better or
Yeah.
a plan,
Yeah.
you know, to who gets the gun and how they're going to be able to use them and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm definitely not going to say no because I'm for anything that helps save our
Yeah,
kids.
I know that's right.
I'm for that. I'm for anything that's a deterrent to keep these guys out of the school.
Right.
I'm for all of that.
Right.
But I think this school had things in place. They had somebody, but where was that person?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even with that one person, would he have been enough? You know, I
Right.
think at least he could have given some fire if he knew what was going on.
Right.
At least to keep him from hurting all those kids. And maybe he could have got their attention and made them run out. Maybe they would have gotten scared.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He just should have been some type of deterrent. But
Right.
in his defense, I don't know what happened.
Right.
What happened,
So I
right?
can't speak on that.
Right.
Right.
But I'm telling you, I'm with anything that helps our kids or
There you go.
anything that saves the kid.
Right.
So I just got something interesting that happened today.
Okay.
The FBI charged a teen with terror threats aimed at Opelika High School. A threat had been made online by a juvenile who was chatting while playing a video game. The threat made was to shoot up OHS, Opelika High School, by a 16-year-old suspect. FBI was able to locate the resident. Opelika Police Department and the FBI agents went to the address and arrested the suspect and took him to the Lee County Youth Development Center. So that's
Serious, man.
that's serious.
Sounds like some copycats.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
When you know some of these kids will say, "Oh, I was just kidding." Oh, it ain't no.
That
kidding
ain't no
more.
joke.
That ain't no
That's
joke.
no joke. You know, you're making a lot of kids scared to go to school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's no joke because people are carrying these acts out,
Yeah.
and you don't know who's serious and who's not. So it is against the law to make these threats.
Threats.
So don't idly say these things because you will be put in jail.
Being put in jail.
And by right, you should be put in jail. You know, a lot of kids, and I saw somebody sent me something the other day saying that somebody was going to shoot somewhere and they didn't know who to get the threat to, you know, and get this information to, but their kids were afraid to go to school.
Right.
And by right, they are because there's so much happening.
So much happening, man.
All these shootings.
It's a little different than it was. We was
Yeah.
coming to
Yeah,
school because
right.
they pulled a fire alarm. They used to do little threats. Everybody go outside. They did it when we was in school, but
Right.
it was like they did it as for fun. But we took it serious. But
Right.
now it's very serious.
Oh, it's very
I mean, it's,
serious.
it's
Oh, yeah.
happening for real.
That's
for real.
right.
Oh, yeah, it's
You know what I'm talking about? It's a whole different ball game.
But it's
the kid-
interesting the young people's reaction though. The children's reaction this time.
Right.
It ain't like it has been in the past.
No,
I mean, they are done.
That's right.
And their press conferences and the stuff that they've been saying, they are gunning for any politician that's
supporting these guns, buying
Right.
these guns.
right. Well,
You know, and
supported
buying-
getting campaign contributions from the NRA.
NRA, right.
You know, they attacked Marco Rubio the other day
Wow.
Well, they attack
in the town hall.
everybody.
They are not playing.
No, they,
Right.
they
The young
attack
people
everybody.
are done. They said we're done. We're done with it. And at one point they were chanting, "That's BS. That's BS,"
Yeah.
because they couldn't say the real thing in
Right,
front of their
right,
parents,
right,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
But they are really, really up in arms. They are. If you watch the news now, the young people are on fire, and they said that they're gonna do whatever they can to make some changes.
Well, that's good. We need to make a stance together,
Right.
you know, to make changes.
That's right.
You know, one of the ridiculous things that the sheriffs have been fighting is that anybody can carry a gun without a permit, and that's not good.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you got some mentally ill people, you got some true criminals, and you just can't put guns in everybody's hand. I
right.
understand that it's your right to bear arms,
Right.
but there has to be some stipulations to carrying a gun.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
You know, the police are armed for a reason.
Right.
Because we are sworn to protect and serve.
Right.
And we have to have tools to do that.
That's right.
But when you put everybody on the same level that we are, we can't enforce the law safely.
Yeah. You're right.
You know, it's a danger to us. we are supposed to have guns and be able to protect the people.
That's right.
We need to be able to stay one step above of what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But when we are outgunned and outmanned, the police aren't doing any good.
Right.
And when you legally let that happen, we in trouble.
That's right.
Society is in
Right.
trouble.
And you know, the genie has been let out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about it's like 300 firearms in the United States. 300 million.
300 million.
That's darn near one for every citizen.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So now that that's out there, how do you put the toothpaste back in the tube? You can't do it.
Can't do it.
You know, I mean, really, seriously, it's unless you start confiscating weapons, which that will never happen.
Right.
Right.
This is a problem that we're going to have to find another practical solution in the schools to deal with this. I don't, you know, they were making the point that you know, you can't buy alcohol if you're 13. You can't buy cigarettes. You can't buy the little dirty magazines.
Right.
But they had a kid walk into a gun show at 13 and buy an AR-15.
Wow.
They had a hidden camera on him.
Yeah.
They followed him into the convenience stores. He can't buy anything else. And they were even making fun. Like, he looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
The gun show guy just, here you go.
He had the money.
And he walked out with the AR-15.
Wow.
13 years old.
Man,
Wow.
that's crazy.
So, I mean, there's something fundamentally wrong when that is possible.
yeah.
Right. And then,
It
but
is.
as soon as you try to put any kind of regulations on it, you have the NRA people up in arms, all upset because, oh, you're infringing on our rights.
Right.
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 Now, in the Constitution, it does say people have been putting the clause out there at the bottom of the Second Amendment where they say that the people should be heavily armed, something to that effect, and with plenty of ammunition.
Right.
Well, if that's in the Constitution, and that's, you know, that's giving license to this.
Right.
But see, when that was written though, what they meant by a heavily armed militia were people with muskets
Right.
with one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Times have changed.
You know, times
It
have
went
changed.
automatic.
You know what I'm
Times have
saying? I
changed,
mean,
yeah.
if we had those kinds of weapons back then, surely the Constitution would have been different.
Yeah.
Because I mean, giving people that kind of firepower is not good.
Right.
It's not good. Not unless you are professionally trained. I mean, you know, and it's a tough argument to make because I've got plenty of guns. I know the sheriff's got plenty of guns. I'm not giving mine up.
Right.
You know, my fight is when they come to my door talking about some guns. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't got nothing to do with it. So, but I'm just saying that's what a lot of people are worried about. That
Right. Right.
a lot of people are concerned about losing their right to protect themselves.
Well,
Right.
well,
So it's a fine line. Because think about it.
it's
You
fine
want to be
line,
able to
'cause-
protect
but that's
yourself.
not what I'm all about. That's not what we're aiming to take people guns.
Right.
We want to. I mean, I'm all for you protecting your home. I'm all for you protecting your family. But it's a
Right.
different thing when you come out with the guns
Right.
and you shooting at somebody or you committing crimes.
Right.
You know, if you got your guns in your house and somebody come in, they trying to hurt you and your family, I see that.
Right.
But for you to take that gun out of your house, you know what I'm saying, and you're going out to commit a crime or just having a gun out there to scare people or commit a crime, I'm not for that. It's a difference.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm with keeping the gun in the house.
Yeah.
I'm with protecting. I know all that's good.
Right.
But when you bring it out, that's when it's a problem.
Right.
When you carrying that concealed weapon, that's when it's a problem.
That's right.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
had a bad
things we need
incident. Yeah, I had a bad incident in Atlanta, over on Howell Mill Road. Bad traffic. Some guy cuts me off, or some kind of way. We had an altercation in traffic, and the guy gets out of his car, and I had my pistol with me, and I'm thinking, what is this guy getting ready to do? Right.
Right.
So he comes a little closer. I got the gun on the seat. Then he comes all the way up to the car. I have the gun in my lap now, and he sees the gun. He gets back in his car. I went immediately and took that gun and pawned it because I was like, okay, I don't need to be carrying this gun around.
Right.
I got plenty of guns. This one I just
Bad temper.
it was a little bitty gun, little 25 automatic.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? How many scenarios like that happen
Right.
around the United States every
Right.
day? Where
And people get shot.
every day,
Just on the spur
every
of the
day.
moment
Yeah.
because you know you had a gun.
That's right.
And at that moment,
Yeah.
you wanted to kill somebody.
Right.
Right.
or you wanted to
or I
protect
wanted to
yourself.
defend myself. Right.
Or you wanted to
you feel
protect
threatened
yourself.
some kind of way.
Right. He's a big
you
old
was
dude.
threatened. So now you're gonna shoot him, but you really didn't want to.
I didn't want to shoot the
You
guy.
didn't
Right.
need to.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you got second thoughts about having a gun.
Right.
That
right.
I
Because
darn
it
sure did.
is very easy to shoot somebody when you got a gun.
Right.
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 Hey, and that gun give you some courage too.
It does.
Right.
And you be talking noise when you normally wouldn't talk.
There you go. Make it
doing
brave.
things, right, and make it brave. You be doing things and saying things when normally you would.
That's
wouldn't.
right.
There you go.
And a
That's
lot
right.
of people say, "Dog, I'm sorry now.
yeah.
I really regret
wish
that.
I
yeah.
hadn't had that gun."
Yep.
It takes a very mature person to have a gun.
Yeah.
gotta be
You got
mature.
to be very, very,
Very.
mature
That's right.
Yeah, and you know
to
what?
have a gun.
My folks taught me, don't pull a gun unless you're going to
Unless
use
you
it.
gotta use
Got to
it.
use.
Right.
Same
Don't
thing
don't
on
draw
the
down on somebody unless you're
Right.
ready to take them out.
Absolutely necessary,
Yeah.
ready to take them out.
Yeah. Right.
And you know, some people lose their life because they're not willing to take somebody out. They pulled a gun,
Yeah.
but they were just playing.
Right.
The other
Yeah,
person got
there
a
you go.
gun
There
too.
you go.
He ain't playing.
That's
That's right.
That's right.
He ain't playing.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you get shot because you thinking, since I got a gun, I can pull my
Mine,
gun,
yeah, but you
and
can
it's
pull
gonna
yours.
make him leave.
Yeah.
But no, he pulled his gun and he's serious.
Because he's trying to defend himself
Trying
too.
to defend
That's right.
himself.
Yeah. Because you done pulled a gun on him.
Yeah. And we
So,
run
yeah.
into that all the time.
Yeah.
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 We run into that all the time.
You guys
Yeah.
get the ups on you, man. Ain't nothing you really can do though.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Get the ups
Gun
on-
is not the answer.
It's not. It's not down.
It is not the answer.
Yeah. But really, where do we go from here, though? Really, seriously.
Well, this is going to be a debate, and it's going to be a debate, and it's going to be a challenge for a long time. So, what do we do to get it right? Everybody want to protect our schools. Everybody want to protect our churches. Everybody want to protect the people working at night in these convenience stores, the people walking with their families, you know, people in their homes and their neighborhoods. We want to protect all of them from these bad guns.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just gonna have to get together, find some solutions, and do
Yeah.
that. But the police are what's in place to handle this.
That's right.
And when you take it out of their hands, then I think you're doing the people a disservice.
You're right.
You're doing them a
Right.
disservice.
Right.
Right.
That's what's in place to handle this.
Yeah.
And right now, it's not happening because we giving everybody the same rights you get the police. We putting them on the same level.
Right.
And I know what people saying about police, but unfortunately, you do have some bad police officers.
You're right.
But on
Right.
the overall, that's a small percentage of the good police that we have. It's a very small percentage
Right.
of the police.
Yeah,
You
but
know-
you know, it looks like now that they're going to do something on a national level because as it stands, each state is a little different.
Yeah.
New York is hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
California is hardcore.
Florida.
And it's really interesting that
Florida.
the nature of Alabama folks, they're like, oh no, we want to free for all.
Yeah.
So
Western
it-
days.
Oh my
Back in the
goodness.
Western-
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Hair like this.
But you know, one thing about the people in Alabama, you know, we country.
yeah,
Most of the people you see got a rifle in the window.
gun culture. Yeah.
You know, gun culture. You got
Yeah.
a rifle in the window. You got
Right.
one in the back seat.
Right.
Yep.
You know, everybody like to go hunting or either say they
Yeah.
hunt. You know what I'm saying? They gonna keep their rifle.
That's right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's on the drill. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, you're right.
With plenty of ammo.
With plenty of ammo.
With country folks.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's what we deal with all the time. But in some places like that, like, you know, New York, they not riding around with hunting rifles on the truck and in the windows and stuff.
Friend of
You know
mine
what
went
I'm
up there recently and had some weapons, and innocently took the weapons up there, and somebody broke in his vehicle and stole one of them.
Wow.
He calls the police like you think you would. I'm
Right.
reporting my gun stolen.
Right. Right.
Well, when they get there, he has another gun and some other things country folks have,
Right.
and they freaked completely out.
Wow.
The same thing that is completely illegal in New York City is perfectly admissible here in Alabama.
Right, right.
And so that's another problem that we have with gun culture. There's no uniform understanding of how these things are to be handled. You know, up in New York, you ain't supposed to have no kind of gun.
right. You're not
It's
supposed to
zero
have a gun.
tolerance,
Zero
right.
tolerance.
Zero
Right.
tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
But down here, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's complete
So
opposite.
somebody
Everybody got
from
a
down,
gun.
somebody from down here can go up there and innocently get themselves years in jail.
Yep.
Right.
Just for having the thing.
Just for having
and
the
thinking
gun.
that they're doing the right thing. I'm reporting my gun stolen. Isn't that the right thing to do?
Right.
My car was burglarized.
Right.
And he says, and my other gun is registered, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you got another gun? Oh, my goodness.
Hey, and you telling the story of somebody I know that happened to. You
Yeah.
know.
I think we talking about the same person.
Instead of saying the person's name or something, that happened.
Yeah, that's some real
And
stuff.
boy, that guy was in a world of trouble.
Yes. It's
because he
yes.
called me and tried to get me to help, but in a situation like that, it's out of our hands because our laws are different. If that's what
Right.
they say, that's what it is. You got to deal with the laws that they have.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't have a gun.
And so that's why some kind of middle ground has got to be found. Because on one hand, I think it's too extreme to have no guns. I think it's extreme to have all the guns in the world.
And
so
I'm gonna say
somewhere in the
this.
middle, we got to meet.
You got to meet
gotta
somewhere in
meet
the middle.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you get a pistol permit, some way to carry a gun, you got to know what states let you have that
Right.
gun.
Yeah.
Who
Exactly.
operate.
Y'all got that. Y'all
And
got
we do a booklet that we hand out when
Right.
we give you a pistol permit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know who will let you, in what
Right.
state you can cross over
Right.
with that pistol.
Right.
You need to know these things.
to know it.
Because once you go in the states that don't allow, you are in trouble.
That's right.
They don't want to hear that.
They don't want
Right.
none of that.
They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to know what you're doing with these pistols.
That's right.
Yeah.
And back to one of the things with the school, and that and like I always talk about the school because being the truant officer and over security SRO all those times, you try to prevent the gun from coming into school. And like I talked about last week, prevention these guys coming on campus.
Right.
We keep all those doors locked.
Right.
We protect the outside so the outside people can't get in. And you would hope that the inside people don't get a gun inside the school.
Right.
Right.
And one of the things we did, the metal detectors, it took a while to get in school in the morning because everybody was up front checking
Choke point. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
they came
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
You made sure every door was locked at that school.
Right.
And you don't let any other door be compromised, and you bottleneck them through one way,
There you
and
go.
you check them.
That's right.
It's not 100% foolproof, but man, it's a deterrent, and,
Yeah.
it helps keep the guns out
Right.
of school. You check everybody that come in that school.
There you go.
And you don't let anybody in any other door for any reason.
That's right.
Right.
So that helps.
That helps
Right.
a whole lot.
That helps a whole lot.
Yeah, it helps a
and
whole
if you
lot.
can keep the guns out of the school, then you have a better chance of not having these shootings.
There you go.
Once the doors are locked and everybody in, you don't let nobody else in.
That's right.
You don't let them in. To get in that school, you had to come to the front door. You had to be buzzed in when you came and you got checked. You came through the metal detector and you got checked.
Right.
And the people that checked you were the armed guards that was
There
in
you
the
go.
school.
Yeah.
Right, that's
yeah,
right.
Right.
And if you pulled the gun out or got caught with a gun coming in by the armed guards, you was in trouble. Or they gonna deal with you.
We'll deal with you.
So that is a lot. Yeah. And Motor City say all guns are not metal. We know that, so that's why you pat them down.
Pat them down.
We always pat the people down, just don't let them come in the metal detector. Because we know the Glock.
There's a Glock plastic,
The Glock
yeah.
plastic, but it does have a metal piece in
Got a
it.
metal piece in it.
So it's
It'll
still
go
going to go off.
Right.
Right.
Still going
Right.
to go off.
Right.
Right.
You know, they had to have the metal piece, so they still going to go off. But not only do you send them through the metal detector, you pat them down.
Pat them
Right.
down.
You have to pat them down, too.
Right. Right.
You know they have these 3D printers that can print guns now too.
Oh, yeah.
That's
3D printer?
A 3D
yeah.
printer can print a gun out of plastic.
You got to be kidding me.
And now those 3D printers have gotten more sophisticated that they're using other types of materials.
Yep.
It started out using plastic where you could make anything. I mean, make a phone or anything
Right, right.
with that 3D printer. All you need is the design.
Design.
Right? So these things are getting more and more difficult to detect because now if you got a 3D printer, you can make a gun that looks like, I don't know, a long cylinder without a handle where you pat them down, you don't know. It looks like a drumstick or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's getting interesting how these
Well,
weapons
you
are
know,
coming around.
The more technology advances, the more problems we going to have.
Yeah, that's true.
The more problems we going to have.
That's right.
So we have to be diligent in what we doing, and we also have to change up our techniques.
That's right.
Right.
And dealing with these criminals and people trying to get guns in the
Right,
schools.
right.
And dealing with these people coming to the schools. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to keep doing what we're doing. Cameras outside.
Cameras are very important.
Officers at the school.
Right.
Doors closed and locked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people just being diligent about watching what's going on.
Right.
Being alert.
Being alert.
And parents, when you hear something, neighbors, when you hear something, report it to the authorities.
Right. Right.
And as I understand, they had signs with this young man. They had signs and knew some stuff with this young man.
They said the FBI had been, or the law enforcement had been to his house 39 times.
39 times.
In fact, the children in the school said if anybody would be a school shooter, it would be this guy. They reported him to the FBI. The FBI is in big trouble, and they apologized because that's a big red flag. That's like 39 big red flags.
Right.
And if you got children saying that this guy's gonna shoot up the place,
Yeah,
and you don't do nothing,
That's wild.
that's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big mess. It's a big mess.
Yeah.
But look, I want to remind everybody that you can watch this live every week on YouTube now, live streaming at Tuskegee Virtual. So y'all make sure you let people know that. We're still going to be on Facebook and TV and radio and everything, but just that's a new thing, that live streaming on YouTube.
Live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey man, I don't know what to say about Jordan. Jordan's so innocent. Jordan's so innocent and stuff, but she sent me a letter. She said, for future purposes, we execute those who murder innocent people. That's what Jordan said.
Just get rid of.
But see, you still have to have a trial. You have to have due process.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of people in jail and prison waiting for those things.
And then they want to study you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? See what made you do that.
I think they should be public executions.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, the Chinese don't play that.
No, they don't.
You know, and you don't have no shootings over there.
No, you don't have no shoes.
They gonna execute you.
Yeah.
And you can look on Facebook and see how some of those countries punish people. Man, they set them afire.
They don't play.
Yeah.
And burn them. They don't play. I don't
play.
agree with that though, because I think everybody should have due process. What if they hurt somebody that's innocent?
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know
what
what
if they
I'm saying?
didn't do it?
And what if they
They
didn't
didn't do it.
And to me, that's just inhumane when
Yeah,
I see stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also, Ms. Sheriff said, what about the Uber driver who took Cruz to the school? He had to see that gun.
It's all
How you
depends.
get in there?
Yeah.
You can break them guns down to put them in a book bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can break it and put in a regular book bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But them saying, crazy guys, you're gonna assemble a gun in the back of the car or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Well, we
They
don't
Tell the
know.
Uber driver, don't say nothing.
If you go to the extreme to shoot people,
because some of
you
them
can
have
hide
the
that gun.
detachable stocks and all
Yeah,
that
man.
stuff.
Right.
Slide it in,
Yeah,
break it down.
Yeah.
He knew a lot about guns. You had
Yeah.
to know a lot about guns, man.
Oh, and they said he had inherited $800,000. So this young man had a lot of money.
Wow.
He had $800,000 from an insurance settlement.
Wow.
So he had the means.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But like I said, and I know we got to wind up and wrap it up, but where do we go from here?
Right.
You know, we
Yeah.
can talk about the teachers in the school with the guns. We can talk about somebody say let the veterans come to the school and protect the school. But you let a veteran come to, well, I like the veterans now.
Yeah.
But it's just like anything else. What if that veteran got some problems?
Right.
Right.
You know, some of them do.
Right.
That
And-
PTSD.
and PTSD. And honestly, I know they want to help and protect the schools, but they just like other people too. What if they have a problem?
Right.
Right.
You know, and I'm not saying anything bad about the veterans because I love them, but they're the closest thing. I would rather them have a gun than a teacher because most of them have experience
There you go.
in shooting the guns and also have experience in having the gun pointed at them.
There.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
See what I'm
That's the
saying?
key.
And that makes
key.
a difference.
Make a big difference.
That makes a big difference.
Big difference.
So I would rather that
Yep.
than the teachers. But what if they have a problem?
Yeah.
Right.
You never know.
You never know.
You never
Never know.
right. You're
That's
right.
right.
You're right.
See, you never know.
Right.
So, you know, you can debate and talk about this all day and night, and we can do it another 2 or 3 weeks, and you still not come up with you're not gonna come up with
Right.
a great solution.
Right.
Right.
You know, this is gonna have to be tested.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of guns out there.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
this is
guns.
going to be
It's-
really difficult, you
It's
know?
gonna be
It's like
difficult. It's
Yeah.
gonna be difficult. But what like I said, we want to keep everybody safe. So you parents, everybody in the home, if you hear anything, let somebody know.
Right.
And I think that's our best defense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
keep
look
them
for the
out
warning
of the school
signs. The warning
and
signs.
look for warning signs.
There you go.
Keep them out of the schools and look for warning signs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Look for
Yeah.
warning signs.
Yeah.
And,
We got
and
to
maybe
stop
that'll
being
help.
quiet. You
You
Right.
can't be quiet.
Right.
Can't be quiet about this.
You
Right.
can't be quiet. We got to protect each
Yep.
other.
There you go.
We got to protect each other.
That's it.
And knock on wood, I hope we never have anything like that to happen.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not just going to say in Tuskegee, I'm talking about anywhere else. We
Right.
can't stand
Right.
another
Can't stand
tragedy
it.
like that.
Right.
You
Right.
know, we want to take care of everybody.
That was
Right.
a big hit. Yep. But man,
Right.
we got an awesome
Okay, and
time
she just
Yeah.
sent me this parents, but I just
Right.
said that parents, you know, talk to your children.
Mhm.
You know, if you hear anything, see anything, especially on Facebook, social
Right.
media, please report it.
Yeah.
Please report it.
And monitor your kids,
Monitor your
on
kids.
social media. You got to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And not just Facebook. You got to go to Instagram and Snapchat.
Yeah.
You know, they leave the social media site where their parents are, and they go and try to go somewhere
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know.
and they'll get a hold to your gun, and then you go on social media and see, like, that's my gun.
Yeah, right.
right.
They don't went in your cabinet, got
Yeah,
your gun, where
yeah,
you have it at.
yeah.
They don't put it on Facebook, like, your gun is there. What they got my Like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
They don't got your gun while you was gone, and they don't put it all on Facebook and everything.
There you go. All
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay.
listen, I want to
Okay.
give a shout out to all the law enforcement again, and that's all over the world. We have a tough job,
Right.
but we're doing what we can do, and we're doing our best, and we're going to continue to do the best. Shout out to my sheriff department. My buddy Captain Whitehead went home today sick. I hope he's
boy.
doing better. And all my friends down at the sheriff department and all the other agencies, my office, Mary, Miss Loretta, I appreciate all y'all, Wayne, Butch, everybody, all my patrol, dispatchers, jailers, appreciate all y'all. And all the other agencies in Macon County, give everybody a shout out. Thank you for the good job you're doing. And hey, let you know, and I was telling my guys today, our life is on the line every day.
Every day.
We might go down together.
Right.
But guess what? We willing to do that.
Yeah.
And I just had that conversation today. Hey, we willing to do that.
Right.
But shout out to everybody in Macon County. Great job. Let's keep the crimes down. Let's get better and better and better.
Okay.
And thank you, everybody.
One shout out to Jordan. Happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday, Jordan.
birthday
Shout
to
out to Miss
you.
Bronson over here. Thank you,
Yeah.
Miss
Miss
Bronson.
Sheriff in the building.
Miss Sheriff and everybody. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Pat Wallace, for coming on the show,
Better give
man.
your wife a shout out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I give a shout out all through the whole program.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where y'all go. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my wife, all my kids. Everybody, my whole entire family. Big shout out to them too as well. Everybody in the studio right now. Big shout out. Make sure you guys go to YouTube. I'm talking about like this or watch it, however you want to do it. Share it with
There you
somebody. Go to Tuskegee Virtual
On Facebook, too.
Facebook, yeah, Facebook, YouTube, and what else? Live here. And
On
All the
TV.
show-
Yeah.
Hey, I got to get one in. Thank you, Brownie, because Brownie always get me reports.
Oh,
done.
yeah,
You got to
man.
give Brownie a shout out.
Big shout out to Brownie in the building,
man.
y'all.
We get shout out
Okay.
to Brownie, man.
All right.
This was a very another very interesting program, a show that we had right here with the sheriff, man. Thanks again, you guys, for coming on the show, man.
Love it,
Out of
man.
here.
Love it.
This is February 22nd, 2018.
18. I'm going to save you again.
18.
18. Save you again.
Hey, we love y'all, man. Make sure you share this with somebody and tell a friend. Every Thursday, 8 o'clock.